They add things to the water, add things to the food, add things to the packaging chain by design through these global combines, through these agreements. And then when you're sterile, they come back and for millions of dollars, you go to them for these expensive genetic treatments so you can have children, but they're now designer. And the companies can build whatever Trojan horses they want into the back end. And then they will have the high-tech treatments that are able to unlock our genetic code and allow us to reproduce again. Once the world government's in place, and all their own UN and Club of Rome documents, they're talking about an 80% world population reduction. That's what their world government is about. That's why the big mega banks that run this system want to destroy the world economy so that everybody is dependent on government. They don't want you to be self-sufficient. They want you to be dumbed down and controlled. But if you're aware of the chemical and biological cocktails that are assaulting you, we can fight our way out of this by making choices that limit the amount of exposure we have to this form of warfare. There's a reason all these diseases are increasing, because we are being slow killed. We are being soft killed. We are being murdered by a cocktail of poisons. This is the ultimate revolution. This is the human revolution against a technocratic, psychopathic, control freak elite who are playing God. Warn everyone you know about bisphenol A. It's in almost everything. Clothes, printer ink, packaging. It's everywhere. And retail workers and factory workers that are around this are being devastated by it. Let's reclaim our humanity together. Don't let them use little cliches about, oh, we're bashing gay people, or oh, we're conspiracy theorists. When these criminals attack us with propaganda, we need to shove the facts right back in their face and say, we see you, we know what you're doing, we've got the facts, and we're not laying down and taking it anymore. Humanity is awakening to the crimes that you, the eugenicists, have been committing against us, and you will be brought to justice. Now, the rest is up to you. Get this information out to everyone you know. The ball is in your court. The information you've seen is only a tiny fraction of the accumulated research that Infowars.com has amassed. It's now up to you to do your own research, to fully awaken, and then begin the task of awakening others. Our species is strong, and we can defeat this tiny group of psychopaths attempting to set themselves up as God. Now, in a moment, we're going to go to Darren McBreen dealing with aspartame, this military chemical weapon that's been in our food since 1981. But before we get to that, the guys were able to dig it up. And I've noticed that the Sunday Times of London that originally wrote the article pulled their story years after it was up. And also the ABC News, we're going to do a whole report on this in the next few days, because we're going to dig up the old screenshots we've got. They changed their headline that they're trying to help the poor. But there's the PrisonPlanet.com article from a few years ago. Secretive rich cabal met to discuss population control. Now, the actual headline from the Sunday Times was, Rich Meet to Discuss Overpopulation in New York. And they're just pulling it. They let a reporter in, Oprah Winfrey, Ted Turner, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. They were all there. And previously, the ABC News article said all this, but they actually cut it out. Why? Because Bill Gates is a sponsor of ABC News and ABC Blog. And again, George Soros, all of them were there, obsessed with their philanthropy to make sure you take all these vaccines and shots. In fact, guys, did you find the Prison Planet version where we did actually save part of the Sunday Times? You know, we only put a blurb there, but we have the actual headline. Go back and type in that original headline that actually led you to our article. Go back to the Google search, the NSA search. We'll show people. Hit enter on that. Billionaire club in bid to curb overpopulation. That's it. And that's our forum. And then watch what happens when you link on it. It takes you to the Sunday Times. And now they've removed it. I actually went and registered trying to see this today. Gone. Gone. But, again, they want you to register now. But thank God we were able to save it. So if you type in billionaire club in bid to curb overpopulation, we only put a blurb up to document it was there. Global Research actually has the whole thing. In fact, put in billionaire club in bid to curb overpopulation, and then put in globalresearch.ca after it. They actually have the whole thing. Again, we just show you our own research, what we do here. It's all transparent. And you read it, and at the end they say, well, we don't want to say we're an alternative global government. We're just trying to help the global government with the overpopulation. And they want to help by getting you vaccines and GMO food. And then we've got Bill Gates on TED TV saying, we're going to give you shots so you don't have kids. And endorsing death panels, kill granny. We're going to put a whole report together showing you what these guys are up to. But they pay to have it called philanthropy. Yeah, there it is. Billionaire Club and bid to curb overpopulation. Scroll down. And Times UK. Yeah. They've got, scroll down to the end of the article. And they've got the whole thing basically posted there. All right, you can go find that for yourself. I'm kind of digressing. I get obsessed with information, obviously. Let's look at some of the other medical news. New Jersey Assembly panel passes bill to add fluoride to public drinking water. This is after cities began to pass laws against lobbyists coming in and getting them to pay millions of dollars for toxic waste that's left over, not just fluoride, but hundreds of chemicals and heavy metals to be added to the water. So we've got that report. Florida, of course, last year passed a law to force everyone to fluoridate, and now they're talking about making people that have wells not be able to use the well water anymore because you've got to have the fluoride. It's you know, the government cares about you. These are really, really, really wonderful people for your teeth. Just like we have clips coming up with Darren Green after Man on the Street where they say cigarettes, the doctor says, are good for you. And don't disagree with them. You know, big special industry to come in and tell you the doctor says Prozac, Ritalin, fluoride, cigarettes with hundreds of additives, fluoride, it's good for you. They love you. Don't be a conspiracy theorist. Don't question. But never fear, the same government that dug up dead whalers in the Arctic tundra to resurrect the Spanish flu that killed tens of millions and turned into H1N1 to scare you, why they've discovered deadly superbugs that are in the ocean and no doubt will make their way into our lives. Bacteria that can resist nearly all antibiotics have been found in Antarctic seawater. A quarter of the samples of the coli bacteria, the same folks that make the aspartame, carry genes that made an enzyme called ESBL, which can destroy penicillin and other antibiotics. So you know that'll make its way to your dinner table by these murdering eugenicists very, very soon. Here's another report. Scientists create bird flu superbug that could set off next global pandemic, and they've found mouse pox, airborne Ebola, all of this in the name of keeping you safe. No, it's the control freaks that are the actual danger to humanity. And yet another report, children's medicines coated with brain-damaging aluminum. You know Alzheimer's is off the chart. You know that it's connected for decades to aluminum. Of course, you know that neurological disorders are getting worse and worse. And they're now coming out and you know, admitting in these major research that it shows kidney damage in mice, higher incidence of tumors, toxic to rodents, even in modest levels. And, of course, they recognize in 1990 it's tied to thyroid cancer. It's in many of the most popular dyes. It causes bladder and testicle tumors, another gift from the globalist, and affects behavior and hypersensitivity reactions. Well, aluminum's an adjuvant. It accelerates and magnifies everything and causes adrenal tumors in animals. Well, hell, why not have the deodorant with it? Why not have it in your kids' pills? I mean, come on. Don't be a conspiracy theorist. This is another gift from the government. In fact, I want to apologize right here. Yeah, obviously, this is a gift to your children. Trust these loving people that openly say they want to kill you. Don't be an extremist. Trust the FDA. Trust the EPA. You know, they raise levels of radiation and said it's safe. And then here's another one. Proof that the cancer industry doesn't want to cure, even if it's pharmacological. Even when they make it. They've got all these treatments that almost completely cure cancer. They've come out over decades, and they just shelve them. Because they want to suck all the money out of you with a can of Raid poison they charge you $10,000 for, calling it chemo, and get rid of your butt. It's part of their control freak murderous activity. DCA offers the cancer industry an opportunity to come up with a pharmacological cure that is much cheaper and safer than their current standard of care. If the cancer industry is ignoring this opportunity, instead DCA is a homeless orphan begging for research fund to avoid legal issues with off-label use of cancer. So basically, the establishment knows that we're starting to wake up to their medical tyranny with the sodium fluoride and the water and all the other toxic chemicals, the forced shots and the mercury and the cancer increasing. The GMOs, all run by eugenicists like Bill Gates, who openly says he wants to reduce population, but he's got a shot for you because you're an African. He cares so much about you. It's ridiculous. I got a chance to meet him out in California late last year when I gave a speech, 2 speeches to 2 capacity crowds, 1,800 great Californians total, when I was invited out to speak in Santa Cruz at KSCO. And he's Dr. Corey Gold, received his doctorate in dental surgery from the University of California in '88. Prior to that, he also received a degree in biology with a minor in chemistry, an additional bachelor's degree in dental sciences. Dr. Gold practiced general dentistry for more than 12 years until he began to get more into nutrition. For the past 18 years, he's been highly involved in health and natural product industry and is really a leading developer out there in many of the top-selling supplements in the country. Very successful gentleman in his own right. He's the founder and president of the Advanced Continuing Education Systems, which is a nationally accredited continuing education provider for dental professionals, trying to break some of their programming and educate them. And so we're really honored to have him joining us from KSCO. I don't know, are you in their studios or are you there in your office studios, Dr. Gold?
We're down south here in Southern California, so we're at a remote studio here today.
Well, it's good to have you. Now, we've had you on about politics previously, but I wanted to get you on for the balance of the hour because we've seen in the Food Safety Act $17 million given in November in 1 week by Big Agri to openly shut down small farms and ranches, SWAT teams hitting more Amish, harassment, trying to shut down organic food, SWAT teams in California, Texas, raiding farmers markets over the rutabaga and squash with guns drawn to create the illusion that they're doing something wrong. That's a show for the jury later. That, look, they're so dangerous, we came with guns, to folks openly selling food. Europe now, people couldn't believe this would happen, now banning hundreds and hundreds, that will pull up those BBC, London Telegraph headlines, hundreds of over-the-counter supplements banned, Big Agri, Big Pharma, merging, openly coming out and stating on the record, I'm just setting the table here for you to talk about it because you're the real expert, where they come in and patent fish oil or patent vitamin C, change one area of the molecule, add a carbon molecule, and then it's $400 for fish oil over the counter for 100 pills. It's $300 for over the counter vitamin C. So then they ban that, make you get a prescription for adulterated low dose. Now it's happened. They banned, what, over 300 over-the-counter supplements, including vitamin B12 complexes, in Europe 2 weeks ago. They made good. Obama put Codex Alimentarius in the Food Safety Act. By the grace of God, hallelujah, it failed but narrowly. This is, for everybody out there who just joined us, the game's over, the denial's over. They do want to do this to you. They're coming after everybody. Dr. Corey Gold, break it down for us.
Well, ultimate control is taking charge of the air you breathe. Now we're being told that when we exhale, we're killing the world. It's taking charge of the water. They're putting fluoride in the water, which is a toxin, not good for you. Now they're talking about putting lithium in so you're never depressed. Seriously, they're talking about putting lithium in the water because some people are sometimes depressed. Therefore, everybody has to have the lithium in their water. And now they're talking about the food we have to eat because the food we have to eat needs to be genetically modified so it produces its own pesticides. So literally we're told that every time we exhale, we're killing the world. We're told that when we drink water, it's got to make us happy, and that the normal food that people have been eating for 5,000 years, 6,000 years, isn't good enough for you. It's got to be genetically modified, maybe putting an animal with a plant together, with a pesticide together, so that the crops may grow bigger. Probably won't, but you owe your life to other people and other governments. So literally we're being told, I'm waiting for Girl Scouts to be rounded up for selling cookies on the street, for not holding their cookies right or being in the sun too much. I'm waiting for kids to be arrested for lemonade stands on the corners, because literally it's becoming a grid of control about how you breathe, what you drink as water, and what kind of food that you eat.